the BJ Show. Let's rock and roll. Rock and roll. Come on, everybody. Let's lose control. Brand John never wants to follow. Yeah, ready for the ride. It's the BJ Show. BJ Show.
John, let me tell you something about today's show. So far, there are 5 initials that describe the show, and nothing to do with me or with you. It's 100% me. The initials are F.
Snafu. It's snafu.
No, F-U-P-A-R, and it's all my fault. Okay, so
beyond all recognition. Brad, go easy on yourself. Stuff happens. You know what? I think people probably love to hear your 2023 classic or 2024 classic, Comfortable Shoes.
Yeah, the John Combest theme song. Okay, we're into the B block, and I forgot to play the proper intro, but I did remember to play what, John?
It's time for Brad's Top 3.
It's time for Brad's Top 3.
It is, and this is a sort of sad one.
It's number 3.
Last week, I think it was on Friday, Deanne Lane, a longtime anchor and reporter on Channel 5, passed away. And apparently, I believe earlier in the week, she had a very severe stroke. And then on Friday, and I get this because of the fact that Dan Gray, who was one of her compatriots on Channel 5, was reporting this. Apparently, he knows her quite well and was reporting this online. And she was 65, John. Me, as a guy of 90, I think to myself, man, how did I make it to 90? And it's so sad that someone like her didn't make it past 65. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I thought of you, Brad, and I know your kayfabe age on the show is still 90, or you're soon to be probably 91 in your kayfabe age. But I thought the same thing. I mean, 65 is so young. Did you know Deanne Lane?
I met her once or twice, and, she didn't know who the hell I was. But when I was doing some press gaggle stuff, or I can't remember what it was, some political thing or something like that, always a very nice person. And the interesting part of this is that you see people on TV, like in the movies and things like that, and they come off, like I give my Ron Jacober example all the time of, friendly guy, and then you meet him in person. At least he bit my head off at a meeting one time, but that's a whole other story. But she apparently was the same person on and off camera. She was a very nice, gregarious person, very friendly, and was not your typical off-screen, smiley face on-screen, off-screen, what did you do? You screwed up my report.
Tyrant. Yeah, do you know who I am?
Yeah, right. Do you know who I am? You
Forget it, we'll do it live, like Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah, we'll do it live. So
I saw Deanne, I'm sorry to interrupt, Brad, but I had one interaction with Deanne Lane, and she came to Washington University in 1998 and came to one of our college Republicans meetings.
Really?
And we did a little stand-up interview about the whole Clinton and Monica Lewinsky cigar incident.
Wow.
And I found Deanne Lane to be okay.
What did she say about that? Was she giving it from a journalist perspective?
No, she came to interview me.
Oh, she came to interview you?
Yeah, I mean, as part of College Republicans, yeah.
Whoa, and what did you say?
I said that I had bid in the early days of eBay. I had bid on that actual cigar.
No, you didn't.
I have a thing for chubby Jewish women. Boy, that's wrong on every regard. I mean, not in the Jewish way or anything. Boy,
no, hold on a minute.
Myself out of this.
She came to interview you for a news story?
Yeah, boy, Brad, can you imagine anybody would want to talk to me about a political topic? Amazing. Gee, I can't believe it. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it was a big deal during that period of time, and we were a college Republican group, and so let's go there and interview the leaders of the college Republicans.
Okay, we ready for number 2?
Yeah, let's do it, Brad.
It's time for Brad's number 2.
It is. It's time for Brad's number 2. Story in the Post-Dispatch, John. You've probably seen this. Wildwood is in a tither because they have a problem. And a lot of the people there in Wildwood are not happy with the solution that the city of Wildwood is considering. Do you know this story, John?
No, what does it have to do with? Can we not shoot illegal immigrants?
The story has to do with deer in Wildwood. Now,
So we can't shoot deer. I thought you were going to say illegal immigrants, Brad.
if I'm not mistaken, I think Chesterfield went through this. Didn't they do like 5 or 6 years ago when they had the big
We did. Yeah, we sure did here in Chesterfield.
the big controversy and where they had deer everywhere, and essentially it came down. And I think they finally made it legal. Didn't they make it legal for bow hunters to go after the deer? Wasn't that the deal in Chesterfield?
No, you can't use a bow, but you can use a Nerf gun.
No, seriously. I think they approved the bow hunters. Do you remember that?
It is a bow and a spear. And in fact, I'm starting a restaurant here. You know how the tilted kilt went away in Chesterfield?
Yeah, I love that place.
Oh, I bet you did, Brad. A friend of mine and I came up with an idea of a place called Spear Chuckers.
I don't think that's the case. And by the way,
where if you want to kill a deer, you can use a spear, and then you go in there, and the women all carry the food to your table, but they carry it on their head like they're African women. Anyway, go ahead, Brad. Wildwood.
you know, I did love tilted skillet. Well, not tilted kilt. There's a restaurant in Washington called Tilted Skillet, but the tilted kilt was good. I mean, they had great hamburgers.
They had good food, and they had horrible. The one in Chesterfield had a horrible service. The one that was off of 94 in St. Charles County had fantastic service. And in fact, my buddy and I one time during a tornado, we had to be locked in a safe room with the waitresses from Tilted Kilt.
I bet you he hated that, right?
Oh, it was terrible, Brad. I didn't keep telling them, let's get a little lower. Anyway, I'm sorry, Brad. I interrupted. We were doing a Wildwood deer story.
Well, hold on a minute. You got locked in a safe room with the tilted.
Yeah, we had to go into a safe room. Yeah.
And how big?
Well, we decided to not leave during the tornado because my friend and I thought maybe there's a chance that when we're here, we're going to have to go into a safe room with the people that remain.
So how big was the safe room?
Gosh, let's see. I would say it was. I mean, it was a big room. It was like I think it was back in the kitchen actually.
So and how many of you were in there? Customers?
There were unfortunately other restaurant patrons in there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't just you and the tilted.
Now I'm gonna have to text my buddy who listens to our show. If he's not listening, he's not listening now because he's actually a working human being. But I'm gonna have to ask him exactly what year that was. I want to say it was. 2012, maybe 2011 during the tornadoes. I don't remember. Anyway, Brad, you know exactly where I'm talking about. It became a Gingham's.
Oh yeah. Well, it used to be my favorite restaurant. Originally, it was Willikers for a long time.
Not to be confused with G. Willikers.
No, not G. Willikers, just Willikers. Okay. My original story, the Wildwood deer thing. I will volunteer my services. I will go to the crap transmitter site. I will reactivate the crap truck, which is sitting right there on Highway 47. And matter of fact, I don't know if someday I'll send you a picture when I had my crap truck re-graphicked. I don't know if that's a word or not. When we changed call letters and I had the new wrap and all that stuff put on. As a joke, I said to one of the guys that was doing my vinyl work, I said, hey, I've hit quite a few deer. Why don't you put like the deer on the fender like they do on the, like the World War II fighters, where every time they'd shoot down like a German plane, they would put like a Nazi swastika, and they'd put
Yeah, I love that.
So on that truck right there, it's sitting right there on Highway 47, I think that truck has claimed 12 deer. 12 deer. So rather than the bow hunters who will charge them quite a bit, I will be more than happy to resurrect my 97 F-150, put it on the streets of Wildwood, and essentially say, just pay me $30 an hour, and I will guarantee you I will knock down the deer population. Because the deer, they say, matter of fact, I don't know if you know this or not, they speak a certain language. And a friend of mine, a friend of mine has this decoder where he's actually recorded this, where I put microphones on the front of my car, and I could hear this. My radio would go off a hit alert, and I would hear the deer say, "Oh, here comes Brad. Oh, is it your turn to jump out in front of him? No, it's your turn. No, it's my turn." Boom, and then they jump out in front of me, and I hit them. So, see, I would be there. I would know where they were, and with my deer decoder, I would know exactly where they were. You know what I mean?
I'd be careful, Brad, because if you've hit 12, 13 could be the unlucky one.
I think total with all my cars, I think I've hit 19. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I mean,
And how much jerky have you made from the beer you hit?
John has the one time, the worst one, where I ended up being cut out of my wife's minivan. I was married at the time, and I had my brand new Christmas clothes on. I think I told the story one time before, which my wife had given me my brand new pair of shoes, my brand new, jeans and a shirt and a nice leather jacket. And as I'm being cut out of the car, and they put me on a backboard and they loaded me into the back of the ambulance, one of the paramedics said, "Hey, look, the firemen are loading that deer up. They're going to have venison tonight." So they took the deer.
At least somebody got something good out of it, Brad.
Right, wasn't me. Okay, ready for number one?
Yeah, number one.
And now, big finish, Brad's number.
John, I saw this story on STLPR, and after reading this story, I have to be honest with you, I am more confused than I ever was. And nothing against STLPR. It's a very well-written article, and I don't believe this is as you call it, the political blog from the, Independent, whatever it is, Missouri Independent.
Blog, yeah.
I believe this
What's the story, Brad?
This is a local dude talking about the crazy designations between hemp and marijuana. The title of the story, it's by Bill Chappell. Is he a normal dude from NPR, or is he a Missouri Independent? It doesn't say Missouri Independent, it just says by Bill Chappell, Chappell.
No, and I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't see it on here. How long ago was this on stlpr.org?
Well, it came on this morning at 4:01 this morning. It says published February 2nd at 4:01 a.m. And it says hemp and marijuana are the same species, so why all the different laws? And after reading this article, I'm like, okay, I'm even more confused than ever. It quotes a book in here from Nick Johnson. He's the author of the book Grassroots, which looks at the history of cannabis plant and its use as both industrial material and a drug. Now get this. I thought this was sort of interesting. This is according to this Nick Johnson guy. Quote, "It's one of the world's oldest domesticated crops. Also, it's also incredibly cryptic. We still do not understand everything about its biology and why it does the things it does, how it creates the compounds and molecules it does." And get this, cannabis has, quote, over 480 constituents, according to the Drug Enforcement Administration, but U.S. regulators focus on just one, THC, the compound linked to the drug's famous psychoactive effects. Now, this is your thing you talk about like with epenthampy all the time, right? This is the crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
And the status on this is, update me. You remember this kind of stuff. Is this settled in Missouri, or is this still being debated?
Oh, it's still being debated, yeah. And for folks who want to find this, if you go to stlpr.org, Brad, it's on the right-hand side with all the national NPR stories. And if you scroll down, you'll see that Bill Chappell is a writer and editor. It says, in the heart of NPR's newsroom in Washington, D.C. So, of course, this is from D.C. This is not from St. Louis Public Radio. And no, the issue is not settled. And in fact, even on a federal level, there's still debate going on of, I'll just quote epenthampy. I'll summarize what our friend epenthampy says about it, which is that in some cases, if you have the same plant, if it has a high THC count, in many places, and most places, in fact, it's illegal to grow. But if it has a low THC count, then it is okay to grow. And Brad, the reason why hemp is so misunderstood, or I should say the cannabis plant is so misunderstood, is because for so long, universities could not do research on it. Every university in the Midwest and the South has volumes of research and decades of research on the corn plant, the soybean plant in the South, the cotton plant, the wheat plant. But very few universities would do research on the cannabis plant or on even hemp because it was forbidden and it was the wacky tobacco and the devil's lettuce. So universities could not do research on it. That's why.
Okay, but now, one other thing, when I was putting the show together on Friday we talked about a little bit of this, and let me get this straight. This is the battle between the legal marijuana places and the smoke shops. I can go into one of the smoke shops, not necessarily all of them, but one of them, and buy cannabis-infused stuff at one of the smoke shops?
You can. So in other words, you can buy products. Let's just be blunt. Pardon the expression. Let's be blunt here. You can buy intoxicating hemp products. So things that will give you a buzz or a little bit of a high, you can buy those at Magic Market, I'm stereotyping, in Spanish Lake that doesn't have a cannabis license. But to get something what's generally unanimous, I think what's generally accepted is the stuff that will get you really high, like with a high THC content. Those are generally only found, as I understand it, at licensed cannabis shops. So you could get essentially a lower grade high, but still get high at a traditional smoke shop.
So it's sort of the difference between drinking MD 2020 and then vodka. Is that sort of the difference? Maybe the difference?
Yeah, you could probably put it that way. Or a watered down beer versus, an IPA or something. That's probably an imperfect analogy.
In the old days,
but as Brad Hildebrand always says, it's always about the money, whether it's gray machines and slot machines in casinos, or whether it's hemp products, intoxicating hemp versus a licensed dispensary.
John, are you old enough to remember 3-2 beer?
I know it because you've discussed it many times on the show. It was way before my time.
3-2 beer. I believe there was an exemption in Missouri. Here we go again. You couldn't sell beer on Sunday because of the blue laws and stuff like that, but you could sell 3-2 beer, which was essentially reduced alcoholic content beer. I don't know what the content of most beer is. I guess it's like 6 or 7% alcohol or something like that. But
it's like most like Bud Light is 4.0, I think. Budweiser's 4.0. Bud Light, I think, is like 3.4, something like that.
So the 3-2 beer wasn't that much reduced then, right?
Yeah, it wasn't, no.
Okay, but it was legal to buy. Here we go again. Talk about goofy stuff. When I was first married, my wife and I, our usual Sunday thing, we would go to St. Clair Square almost every Sunday, especially in the winter when there's not much to do. And we'd always go through the parking lot and go, Missouri plate, Missouri plate, Missouri plate, Missouri plate. You know, the idea being that, like, okay, Missouri is keeping all of us heathens from going to buy something on Sunday, but yet all of us heathens just drive across the river to, partake in the Illinois. Just sort of like up until we had the legalized gambling, where all the heathen gamblers would go across the river and pull off in the parking lot once they got across the river and pull up their GPS phone, and it would tell the gaming sites they were in Illinois where they could gamble. But then
and now you can just go down to Ballpark Village, Brad.
Right. Okay, we have to take a break. Everything's still screwed up, so I'm going to play This Is a Break, then we'll be right back.